beautiful people. Today on the Hear 'Em Out Show, we are talking about the words left unheard. Men's thoughts that go unheard, repressed, or neglected. Let's get it.
This is the Hear Him Out Show, a show we created for men to be heard, where women are welcome to listen.
Yo, welcome to Hear Him Out Show. Y'all know what it is. We got a great show for y'all today, right? We talk about thoughts that are unheard, thoughts that men have that go unheard, repressed, or neglected. And listen up, folks. I need y'all to hear us out. These are the thoughts that men have all the time. All the time. And yet we don't come to you, ladies, because oftentimes y'all don't even give us the space to speak on this stuff. And dudes, sometimes we just don't have the courage or the damn energy to say these things. So look at us as the mouthpiece for a lot of men. Now, fellas, if you agree with some of these, or if you have any thoughts or whatever words that go unheard or repressed, hit us in the comment section. And this is the Hear 'Em Out Show, a place for men to be heard, where women are welcome to listen. So this is an opportunity for y'all to get a little game. We're going to drop some gems. So when we talk about thoughts unheard and repressed and neglected, let's break that down, Shakim.
Well, this is healthy locker room talk. We like to label this healthy locker room talk, spiritual locker room talk. I think there's a big problem with humanity, and that is all the women are talking about men in their hair salons.
Okay.
And all the men are talking about women in their barbershops. But none of the men and women are having clear conversations. And we think that it's communication that's needed, but it's not. That's the biggest misnomer that I've ran across in my journey so far.
Ooh, pray tell.
Communication is not the key. Comprehension is the key. A wise man once said that to me. You know?
It's not about communication, it's about comprehension.
You can say something as clear as you want in Spanish, but if I don't speak Spanish, I'm not going to understand it. So a healed person can say as much as they want. If the other person's not healed, they're going to digest it in whatever way that they want. So we have men in this world who are imploding. They are in corners trying to figure out how to grow in this relationship, how to take it to the next level, how to
keep their own mental health in a good state.
Yes, that requires being heard. Unfortunately, a lot of circumstances we've experienced so far as men have resulted in thoughts that were expressed, maybe imperfectly, maybe brashly, maybe not as clear, but they were responded with defense and reaction and volatile nature and drama. And I think that's one of the things that exhausts us is if there's something wrong, we don't even want to bring stuff to you because it could turn into World War III.
Hold up. Just on this. Hear him out. He said something. You say so much stuff, G, and I don't want people to breeze over it, but the last thing, exhausted. So when women talk about, he don't want to talk about his feelings, y'all have to understand how exhausted a man is, especially a good man who handles his business, who goes out and contends with the world, who, provides and plans and protects and does all the shit. He's exhausted. So then he's already physically exhausted and emotionally exhausted, now mentally exhausted. So when he tries to come to you and explain to you what he's actually going through, oftentimes women, you listen to respond rather than listen to understand. And that's why a lot of these thoughts end up going neglected, because you're not listening. They go repressed because we're fucking exhausted all the damn time, or they just go unheard because you're listening with your feelings rather than listening and looking at what's in front of you.
Ashay, and I heard 10 women screaming in my subconscious right now in the background saying, women are exhausted too.
Wah, wah, wah. Hey. We love y'all, but this is a space for men to be heard and women that welcome to listen. And that thought right there, that's the shit we go through.
Yeah, that's the problem. The problem is that the conversation always ends there because it seems like it's a battleground instead of us just trying to understand each other. We can say all day, y'all are going through this too. We're going through this too. We could do that all day. Yes. Or we could try a different route. The other day, I had a very tough conversation with somebody. And when it was time to have the conversation, this was the last thing of the night. So it's 9 p.m.
Okay.
And she's expressing vulnerable thoughts to me and I'm exhausted from the day. So I can either say, that makes me feel like this, that makes me feel like that, I've gone through this too. I can be defensive, or I can, instead of responding with my thoughts, I can ask her questions and help her flesh it out. That's a divine masculine quality to help guide the feminine potentiality that is ever expanding and infinite in its possibility and blah, blah. We help guide it, help structure it. That's the whole beauty of it. So divine masculine. We do this all the time. Unfortunately, we need this as well, and we don't see much of it out there.
At all.
So, a wise woman once told me that so much is lost in the words unsaid. We're going to say some of the things that we hear in our divine circles that maybe y'all aren't hearing because every time they're said, maybe, hey, I'm not gonna say, I'm not even gonna.
You know, it's hear me out. So every fellas, get your notes and pens and let's write this shit down. Ladies, you too, and just for real quick on some for real shit, right? That voice in your head that's saying, well, what about us? They don't understand women. That's what we talking about. That voice that's in your head listening to two random cats you may not even know is probably what's going through your head when your male partner and your counterpart is trying to tell you some real shit he's experiencing. And the first thought in your head is, well, me. It is a very selfish and unproductive way of thinking. So let's put all that shit aside. So let's go ahead. What's your first repressed thought, neglected, unheard? What you got?
The first one I'm gonna say is that men need a safe space. Now this goes along with the whole nucleus of the whole conversation. So if men don't have a safe space to express any of these thoughts that go unheard, then they're not going to do it with you again, because they're going to assume that every time they do it, it's going to turn into a fight. So what happens if, when a man is expressing this thought, even if you don't agree with it, what happens if you just take a second to hear him out?
Oof. Hear him out.
All right. What happens if you just hear him out? Nothing's lost. It seems like we don't have any more room in our brains for new information, but we do.
Yes,
we do. We are ever expanding individuals, and I've never lost anything just listening to somebody.
You don't.
Now we practice this all the time. So what we're asking is that maybe y'all practice this as well, because I was in a relationship where I felt like I was walking on eggshells all the time, and it got to the point where after a few months, both of us were just ticking time bombs. And it could be, yo, why'd you wash the dishes like that?
Facts.
And it's just, it turns into World War III. Yo, why on earth do you brush your teeth like that? And why don't you do this after you done? It turns into stupid shit. So we can be grown and just approach problems like grown people do. So that's number one.
And let's preface this by this. I'm gonna put that on the end of that real quick, y'all. You got to understand, ladies, please. And this is not one of the thoughts I meant to express, but I think it's relevant to this. We aren't good with this shit.
It's new.
Yo, the space, the safe space we talking about, really, when was the last time you heard, have you ever heard a man saying he needs a safe space? That is a very feminine concept. That's a very female space and word. You were the first person, and this is no cap, you're the first person, that's the first time I've ever heard it, online and in person. Men need a safe space. I hear it all the time, women need a safe space. We never hear that. Y'all have to understand, ladies, when a man gets to the point to where he is comfortable enough or overwhelmed enough to be vulnerable, to come to you with some real shit, this is stuff he's been holding in for days, months, weeks, years, his whole entire life.
Yes. And look at the opportunity you have to take part in this process of evolution. I love being able to hold that space for women. That's beautiful. We can change each other's lives.
But see, this is the thing. I love holding that space. That space has been monopolized by women. The safe space to being heard, to validating feelings, that has been monopolized by you ladies. And we're going to talk about that in another episode. But for us, we need you to understand, when we do come to you, and I think this is a good rule, and this is some game. I'm going to drop a gem real quick, okay? If a man cannot have a safe space with you, especially in a intimate relationship, one of three things will happen. One, he will be repressed. Those thoughts will continue to go unheard, and he will suffer in silence. Two, he will lash out on you, and you talking about walking on eggshells. Everything is going to become toxic. Or three, he will smile, say that's okay, and seek a safe space outside of the relationship with someone who gives him that space.
Somebody told me that emotional intimacy is worse than physical intimacy. So y'all don't want that.
So those are the three options you leave the dude, okay? So I just want y'all to put that real quick. So let's get back to it, okay? Some of the repressed thoughts, and I love that safe space. And this is simple. I heard a lot of dudes say this, right? Women, we know y'all want to be loved. I see, if I hear one complaint from my homegirls is they don't feel appreciated. They don't feel appreciated. Now, I can go ahead and say men don't either. But one thing about a man that goes highly, highly overlooked is the idea of respect. Y'all, let me tell y'all, respect is huge. And I know it can be for women, but it's different. I hear women, respect is lower on the list. I want to be loved. I want to be appreciated. Respect is right underneath love for a lot of dudes. We all want to be loved, but we want to be respected. So there's this influx of masculine energy that all these women are putting out there. And the way you talk to men, the way you carry on, that shit is not attractive. I've never seen no man that's like, I like when she talks to me like that. I like when she talks down. I like when she uses that tone. And this ain't no I'm bigger than you physical, but don't disrespect your dude. If I can be real, y'all can be evil with y'all thoughts. When a woman loses it, when y'all get in that emotional state, y'all say some shit. You fire off.
Well, one of the women I stopped expressing myself to, she threw back in my face some of the things that I gave to her in confidence. Like I thought it was a safe space and spoke it and blah, blah. And then she threw it back in my face. Like that stuff it's weird. And I wonder if I know every woman out there is saying, oh, well, we feel like we have to because all these men are children and they're stupid and they're dumb, blah, blah. Well, he just made a great point, is that if a man is on the road to being a good man, he has to learn some way. And maybe he's learning right now. My throat chakra was so raw that in my last relationship, sometimes when we would talk, my body would start shaking. Because the moment I feel any type of tension, I'm used to being able to just fight. My safe space used to be MDS, where we just go and we body harden and we go through katas and we fight and boom, boom. And so now I'm learning how to do it in a different way. And I'm trying to speak while my body's shaking. I'm like, damn, why is that happening? But it's because my shit is revving up. This shit is brand new.
It's real. And it's real. And it's just that matter of respect and how you talk to a dude. I was, so I do motivational speaking. I travel and whatnot. And I flew back into LAX. I had a couple of gigs up in Boston, right? And I saw this couple, this sister and this brother. When I tell you, you can just tell they had a horrible travel experience and stuff, right? So where I go park my car at the Hilton at the airport, they are going at each other. Where the hell did you put the car? Bitch, I don't know. And they're married and they're just going at each other. And she's just like, you so damn stupid just talking. And I'm like, this is how you talk down to somebody you're supposed to be a king and stuff?
Right.
And he's responding, and I'm not taking up for they were both going at it, but the shit he was saying was more like, stop talking to me that way. Who the fuck you talking to? All this stuff. And she was just going at him, trying to demasculate. Ladies, that is one way for your ass to get written off. I know it seems cool and popular, right? To have this masculine energy and you a boss bitch and all that stuff. That's why some of y'all are single. No dude wants to put up with that. So it's one way if you get pissed off to handle it in a situation, but don't ever try to disrespect or demasculate your man, especially in public, because I've seen it. Don't do it in private and stuff. If a man feels like he is not being respected, I promise you that is the first sign of shit is going downhill. So your tone, the way you talk, the words you use, a lot of dudes are like, yo. And I know it can go both ways. I don't talk down. And when me and my lady have gotten to a heated exchange and things have gone right there, like, my bad, that wasn't about you. I'm just pissed.
Yeah.
Like, apologize.
Yeah, I be chilling. When you say that now, that's crazy. I'm going back in my Rolodex mentally, and a lot of times that's the first thing out of a man's mouth in any type of discrepancy is, why are you talking to me like that? Who the fuck are you talking to? Blah, blah, don't talk to me like that. It's that the respect thing is bigger than I even realized until right now. That's beautiful, man. That's a great point.
Because it's different. This is the one thing, and I'm sure this goes for men, but this is our space. So I'm going to say it from our perspective. Women, you think your needs and how you want to be treated, how you want to be listened to is a reflection of our needs and how we want to be treated and listened to.
All right, here we go.
And it's just not the same. Like I said, when I talk to my homegirls, outside of being loved and all that shit, it's appreciation. Anytime I hear a homegirl or any friend, any female going through a relationship situation, is a lack of appreciation, right? Dudes, a lack of respect. There is a difference. So you really got to pay attention. Damn, am I disrespecting my dude? What's the pros and cons of doing that? Yeah, I'm getting some shit off my chest. Yeah, I'm in a heightened emotional state, but am I disrespecting them? Yeah. And that shit, that's one of the things that go unheard, because by the time y'all hear it, the dude is typically done.
Hey man,
what else you got,
look, well, this is right along the lines of my second point, which is the show's third point, which is, man, we got to figure this sex thing out. We really got to figure out how to properly balance out the sexual energies in a relationship, because what it's looking like, again, like my boy just said, is you're taking the readily made template that you're inclined to when it comes to sexual perspective, and you're copying and pasting it on his as if he should abide by the same protocol, even though he's physiologically different. So I think that there has to be some type of a laying out of terms and agreements based on what one feels not only they're capable of, but what they see the most successful version of themselves participating in the long term. For instance, if I feel like my bandwidth is so expansive and my fecundity is so potent and so strong that I don't see myself with one woman for the rest of my life, then I have to lay that out in the terms and agreements in the beginning. And a woman whose body is always changing,
Always.
has to start looking at the male's perspective as something that he's inclined to based on his intrinsic physiology, and then let's build on that. Let's take instinct and intuition and find the marriage, because we're not saying that all men should be whores.
Right.
One of my favorite couples ever is an uncle that I have named Charlie Brown. Him and his wife were together forever. He only needed one woman.
Right.
That's one man, that's one person. We're talking about tailor making your relationships for each other. There are men that I know who are being tortured in their relationships because of the sex lives. So should a woman
or
have
lack thereof?
or lack thereof. Yeah.
And just on that, like, y'all gotta understand, ladies, and you mentioned this. It was a great epiphany about why women ask, "Are we exclusive?" The need for a woman to feel there's a level of say the word.
Exclusivity.
There you go. I still can't say it. I don't know what's up with that word, right? But there's a need for that. Yeah. And ladies, and just keep it 100. I don't care if this is an unpopular opinion. I don't care if there's some eyes rolling. If you want your man to be loyal, faithful to you on a physical level, then you have to understand his need for that physical intimacy. And if you are not, I know so many women who use that as a point of control in a relationship. Do not try to use sex. If you want your man, especially if you're married, if you want your man to just be with you, y'all have to understand that is a hard pill to swallow for the majority of men. If all men were able to send in an anonymous note, no words or nothing, and saying, if you could love one woman and still be physically intimate with a plethora of women, not all the time, but throughout your life, could you and would you do it? 99% of the men would be like, absolutely, yes. Women, that's a different thing. So if you want a man to go against his natural instincts, what he's naturally inclined to, and this is not some weak ass argument to ask men why men should be able to cheat and women don't. I'm not saying that, but it is the idea of being physically intimate with one woman for the rest of our lives is a very daunting task. And we choose to do it because we put that much value in you. But if we do that and we get in a relationship and you are the only one we are allowed to get physically intimate with, you are going to have to do it when you don't want to. You're going to have to meet his needs in that way, especially if he's a good dude and handling his needs and all the stuff you need. But you do not try to weaponize sex. Do not try to...
Or be willing to have a conversation that restructures the terms and agreements, because I understand women's bodies change after they have children.
Yes.
Sometimes they never go back. Postpartum is real.
It's
we
real.
get it. So my main thing is I have a boy who is, again, being tortured right now because the woman kind of rushed him into having a kid, and he kind of did it based on her physical needs because she's getting older and this and that. And in doing so, they now have a kid, but now nothing is about him, which happens a lot. And he's working to provide. She's in the house, like taking care of the kids. He's working to provide. He's doing all these things, and he gets no sexual needs met. But then she won't even allow him to. They won't even restructure the terms and agreements to where maybe he can go find it somewhere else. Maybe they have. Look, man, we're grown. At the end of the day, we can tailor make these things exactly how we want based on what we see ourselves deserving and succeeding
and
in.
I know that's an unpopular opinion, but a lot of dudes go through that. And as somebody who has kids, I understand the energy and all that shit changes. And like, if you married, you in it for the long haul, so there's gonna be ebbs and flows. So you got to be able to this year we just ain't gonna be getting in a lot. But I see you in the long haul. We'll work out a way to get some kind of level of consistency. But I'm telling you, ladies, and I know this is hard because a lot of y'all listening with y'all damn feelings right now as we say this shit. But make sure your man's needs are met in that way, or you got to change the terms and agreements so it's met elsewhere.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You lose nothing. Ain't nobody judging you.
Right.
At the end of the day, do y'all want to be happy or not? God damn, that shit is weird. Now, it's like, to me, it's weird because I'm looking at both sides and I'm just curious as to what it takes for people to be happy. So to me, maturity along with this point is the expansion of your bandwidth to the point of being able to perceive life from another person's perspective and respect it as much as your own.
Yep.
So what's up with that? If y'all are with that, leave it in the comment section.
Yeah. I know that's a slightly unpopular opinion.
But at the end of the day, people want to talk about sex as if it's not as important. And to me, it's a childish perspective. We know how important it is because we're animals. We're intelligent animals. We're intelligent chimps. Fucking grow up, dog.
Yo, and we got another repressor on her that I hope this is educational and informative. All right, we're gonna wrap this up soon. But another thing, a lot of men are tired of being valued for what they bring and what they provide versus who they are.
Shit.
And This is what cracks me up, right? But for real though, there's like I know so many good dudes, just good-hearted dudes, handsome dudes. They got all the things, but because they don't make a certain amount of money now, I will say, let's pause. I understand, especially when you're thinking about starting a family and all this stuff that takes a certain level of money that you got to have, and a woman needs that security, knowing you can provide that. I get that. There's a level of that, but that's why so many divorces, and not because of cheating and infidelity like people think. It's because money issues.
Yeah.
You come on hard times, and I'm just telling you right now. A lot of men are like, shit, my value is only based off of what I can provide, not for who I am. I can have all the things on your little list, right? I can be the perfect balance of a nice guy, a fuckboy, and a good man. I can have all these little things. But if I don't provide a certain lifestyle, if I'm not able to procure a certain lifestyle for you, that lack of procuring that outweighs all the qualities of who I am. And so then a lot of guys go through and be like, shit, why do you think guys are so success driven? So money hungry, because they see the most successful amongst us, the richest among us, get the pick of the litter.
Yeah, that's dominance hierarchies all the way down to fucking chimps and crabs, man.
Right,
That's
right.
respect.
And so because a lot of dudes feel pressure and we feel the imbalance that so much is, let's say 80% of your worth is based off of what you can provide. You're going to spend 80% of your time trying to see what you can provide, what you can do, rather than the 80% of who you can become. So now you're mad when you got this successful, handsome, blah, 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 who can do all this shit, but is looking at other women and is lacking other areas emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. But if you place so much value on what he can provide, and it's the same shit. That's why so many dudes, that's why so many women, you hear that, right? Where it's like, oh, they hoes is winning. Well, if men, for the most part, we want you. I know a lot of broke women in happy situations. Yo, for real though. Like, I know a lot of broke women in happy situations. I don't know a lot of broke men with women who are in a happy situation. So a lot of dudes feel like, shit, if I can't provide or procure this certain lifestyle, what is my value?
What is my value? Yeah, that's man, bro.
It's just, and it's real talk. And I do understand the need to provide and a woman's need, but there's women out there I know, like, you're in a position financially to be able to provide for everybody. If you have a man who gives you everything you need, but you make more money, I know some women look down on that shit. Yeah, and that's silly to me. It's like, are you getting everything else? Are you with somebody who's not lazy and at least is moving up that ladder? It's a lot of dudes feel like, yo, my value is only in what I can give you, only in what I can provide for you. Me, not so much.
Hey, man. Well, that leads to the segment of the day.
Oh, segment of the day. Let's get it. Let's go.
Segment of the day is unpopular opinion.
Ooh.
All right. Ladies, our queens, enchantresses.
All right. Oh, he's trying to soften y'all ass up. Go ahead.
It's not that men are emotionally unavailable. It's that they're not emotionally available with you.
Ooh, hold up. Hear him out. Pray tell, just repeat that one more time. People got to make sure they get that, bro.
It's not that men are emotionally unavailable. They're just not emotionally available to you. Because you don't know how to hold space yet. If you don't know how to hold space, then how do you have the conversation about what men are capable of communicating or not? We know men are capable of communicating because we communicate with them all the time.
Facts.
Men communicating with women, now that's a different story. So safe spaces, holding spaces, it seems like it's not something that's required for the masculine structure, but it is. And the moment he feels like it's not safe to communicate these things, it's going to be one of the three things Monty just said. He's either going to hold it inside and implode. He's going to lash out on you when you ask him to wash the dishes, or he's going to smile in your face and go talk to another woman that's going to piss you the fuck off. So how about we just all figure out the science of holding space specifically for the mate that you're dealing with? And
just on that, we're going to tap into this a little later on another episode, but like, I know we talked about this on our TikTok live, and one of the questions a lady asked was, how do you hold space? Like, how can I hold space for my man? And
oh man, that's a beautiful question.
And that's a beautiful question. And that's a beautiful question. First off, y'all need to ask that damn question more.
I had to ask my homegirls. You gotta ask.
But then also, in one way, start with, how do I like to? How would I like him to hold space for me? But I think one thing, and I'm gonna keep it real simple, right? And I think this is true for a lot of men. You know what is one of the most comforting damn statements? And I think it's the kind of baby step to holding space. Baby, is there anything I can take off your plate? I'm proud of you. I see what you're doing, right? Is there anything I can take off your plate? Because I've battled with this in my relationship and stuff. It's like, ladies, you're I don't know if it's probably humans, right? We're so wired to point out what's wrong.
Yeah.
And disregard everything that's right.
Yeah.
So if you got a dude that is doing X, Y, Z, and then you only focus on what he ain't doing because that's B, you know how fucking infuriating that is and how discouraging that is. It's like, yo, I do this, and this most of the times without you asking me, and I slipped up on this one and that one. Yeah. And all I ever hear about is what I slipped up on, not what I've done good on.
Yeah. Nope. I want to build on that.
Okay.
What he say in Everything Everywhere All at Once? He was like, I would have been just happy owning a laundromat with you. Like, men are simple, man. Yeah. It's not that we're not trying to grow, and it's not that you're supposed to be our catalyst for growth. It's that every living thing has a natural growth process, and ours is just a little more simple.
It's simple. And so when we do all those good things, holding that space is like, can I take this off of your plate? Not, I need to put more shit on your plate. Okay, baby, I know you just got off work. I know you just do all this, but you didn't take out the trash. You didn't do this. Can you do these dishes? Can you do? Well, what about me? What about? Okay, yo, I'm telling you, if you want to learn how to hold space, simply let your dude know you're proud of what he's doing, because there's a lot of motherfuckers out there that ain't even coming close to what a good dude can do. And then simply ask, offer, is there something I can take off your plate? And this is the kicker. Most of the time, we won't even let you take shit off our plate. It encourages us to continue to put more on the plate, because we always trying to cook and we trying to eat, and that's all we're trying to do. But if we never even hear you offer to take something off our plate, it is very rare. At most, people are like, can you take something off your plate? You know what, baby? I got it. But is it all right if I do the dishes tomorrow instead of tonight? I'm exhausted. That's okay. Y'all have no idea how fucking far that goes with creating a space for peace for a man and creating a happiness and harmony within a relationship that is only going to encourage him to go harder and go further in what he's trying to build for y'all.
Yeah, Shay.
Shay. Okay, what's that? Yo, we really hope that y'all took some shit out of this, yo. We really put a lot of thought and effort into this episode. And y'all know what it is, man. This is not just any show. This is the Hear Him Out show, a place for men to be heard, but women are welcome to listen.
And our aim is to speak truth, add value, and offer a perspective that has the opportunity to lead to growth and elevation.
Yo, we love y'all. Peace.